Hello, Cowboys Nation. Welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team, the Cowboys. Jerry Jones has revealed the true reason behind the hire of Brian Schottenheimer. The decision to bring Schottenheimer on board sent shockwaves around the NFL, as it seemed to be a combination of a familiarity hire and an attempt to outthink the room. The Dallas Cowboys made the longtime NFL offensive coordinator, who has been with the team since 2023, the 10th head coach in franchise history. Schottenheimer has managed to stay in the league for a significant amount of time, over 25 years, and has worked as an offensive coordinator for 4 franchises during that span. Nowadays, journeyman-style offensive coordinators do not tend to get head coaching opportunities, as owners and general managers often opt for boy wonder, whiz-kid types like Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan, both of whom were under 40 when hired by the Rams and 49ers, respectively. Even this past offseason, the 2 other offensive coordinators hired, Ben Johnson and Liam Cohen, fall short of the 40-year-old mark, coming in at 38 and 39 years old. Meanwhile, the more veteran Schottenheimer will turn 52 this year. Amidst questions about the hire, Jerry Jones decided to clarify the reasons behind the appointment during the team's press conference to introduce the new hire to the world. Part of the initial allure of Schottenheimer, according to Jerry himself, was understanding his background and makeup, as well as having good knowledge of him both as a coach and a person. Jones said, "When I was on the competition committee, we had many times when we were together. Jean, Jones' wife, knew Marty Schottenheimer, Brian's father. We know what Schotty grew up around, not just from that, but we knew." Perhaps an even more telling comment came just after, where Jones noted, in explaining his new head coach's strengths, that Schottenheimer had a true deference to authority. Jones elaborated, "I've watched him have deference to his head coach. I've watched him have deference to experienced guys like former defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer. I've watched him bite his lip sometimes when he didn't necessarily agree with the direction, but he bit his lip, as his daddy would have told him to." Despite Jones clearly meaning this as a compliment, highlighting Schottenheimer's ability to show restraint and discipline in key moments, this will not be a good look for Jones. The narrative has been for quite some time that Jerry Jones enjoys employing yes men as his head coach in Dallas, largely due to his desire to maintain strict control over as much of the team as possible. Hence, why he still serves as both the franchise's owner and general manager. So, painting your new head coach as first and foremost a disciplined lip-biter will do nothing to extinguish the idea that Jones is once again looking for a head coach he can keep under his thumb. The Cowboys have Brian Schottenheimer in place as the team's new head coach, for better or worse. While just about no one in the orbit of the Cowboys, former players, fans, or media observers, is particularly happy about the way the coaching search unfolded, Schottenheimer would be wise to shut out that noise and simply focus on putting together his staff. No doubt, the search left much to be desired. In the wake of parting ways with former coach Mike McCarthy, the Cowboys conducted a 3-week search that produced interviews with Eagles offensive coordinator Kellen Moore, himself a former Cowboys offensive coordinator, plus interviews with Seahawks assistant Leslie Frazier and ex-Jets coach Robert Saleh. There was buzz about Deion Sanders, but no concrete formal interview. The same could be said of newly hired Raiders coach Pete Carroll and Packers assistant Rich Bisaccia. Chatter, but no real pursuit. It appeared really that Schottenheimer was the guy all along. Now, Schottenheimer has gotten to work on the business of adding to his staff. Obviously, since he'd been the offensive coordinator for the past 2 years, he will need to fill that role. Increasingly, it appears that the Cowboys are zeroing in on bringing back former Bears head coach Matt Eberflus as the team's defensive coordinator. Eberflus was fired by Chicago at the end of November. According to NFL insider Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, the Cowboys are seeking a rather unconventional pick at offensive coordinator. The Cowboys requested an interview with Falcons tight ends coach Kevin Koger for their offensive coordinator job, per sources. Pelissero reported on Twitter, X, on Sunday that Coger is just 35 years old and has no resume whatsoever as a coordinator. He has been the Falcons' tight ends coach for this season and had been with the Chargers in the same role from 2021 to 2023. Before that, he was a quality control assistant with the Packers. As the old saying goes, coaches are hired to get fired. In that sense, there are an assortment of unfair criticisms being aimed at the Dallas Cowboys building of a coaching staff, starting with new top guy Brian Schottenheimer, and certainly when it comes to critics of the San Francisco 49ers regarding Nick Sorensen. The Cowboys having moved on from head coach Mike McCarthy while also allowing incumbent special teams coordinator John Bones Fassel to take the same job with the Tennessee Titans, are planning to bring Nick Sorensen to the Star. On paper, just like first-time head coach Schottenheimer, and just like the plan for Dallas to hire Matt Eberflus to run the defense, Sorensen is credentialed and connected. Sorensen, the 49ers defensive coordinator last season, worked with Schottenheimer in 2021 with the Jaguars when Schottenheimer was the passing game coordinator and Sorensen was the special teams boss. They also share a Seattle tie, as Schottenheimer and Sorensen were together with the Seahawks from 2018 to 2020 under Pete Carroll. Sorensen, 46, joined the 49ers in 2022 as a defensive assistant before becoming the team's defensive pass game specialist coach. He was defensive coordinator for only one season, as he's now out, with the 49ers having hired former Jets head coach Robert Saleh to get a second stint as defensive coordinator under head coach Kyle Shanahan. So, to the criticism that Sorensen or Schottenheimer or Eberflus isn't good enough because they got fired, hey, they pretty much all get fired. Meanwhile, another solid guy, former Jets special teams coordinator Brant Boyer, will now become the 49ers special teams coordinator. What do you think would be a good signing for the Cowboys? Give your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the channel.